Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here. So my name is Viksha and I talk a lot about books here on my channel. And today I have a really great book recommendation as well as a review. It's a really inspiring and engaging non-fiction book. It's a memoir and it's called Shoe Dog, written by Phil Knight, the creator of Nike. So we all know about Nike shoes, but I did not have much idea about the originator of this multi-billionaire company. And reading this book was an experience, like going through everything that Phil Knight had to say about his journey to becoming this multi-billionaire of such a big company. It was really an experience. So in short, this book is an entrepreneur's journey. So it's definitely a must read for aspiring entrepreneurs. But ultimately, it's a book for everyone because not only entrepreneurs, but all of us have dreams and goals and passions. And this book is an exploration of such dreams and passions. And it's the journey of an idea and how that idea became this grand thing. So the author and the creator of Nike, Phil Knight, he was from Oregon. He was from Portland, Oregon, USA, and he was from a middle-class family, and his father was a lawyer. And he was very fond of running. He was a runner, and one day while he was running, he got this idea. This idea came into his head, and he was so obsessed about it that he could not stop thinking about it. And the idea was to start this shoe company, this shoe business. Ideas come to so many people, and sometimes when we get these ideas, we obviously become so attached to them, but so many times it happens that we do not implement them. But it was not so in the case of Phil Knight. Once he got this idea and he was obsessed about it, he decided to do something about it. And first of all, he went on this world tour. And during that world tour, he went to Japan. And in Japan, there was this company called Onitsuka who they manufactured sports shoes, which were called tiger shoes. He contacted those people of Onitsuka and he pitched this idea to them about becoming their distributor of their shoes in the US. So the idea was that he wanted to import these high quality shoes at low cost to the US, and he wanted to sell those shoes in the US market. And luckily for him, the Onitsuka people, they agreed with his idea and made a deal with him. And so he came back, but it took about almost a year for the company in Japan to import the shoes. In that 1 year, he started working as an accountant. And when the shoes did arrive after 1 year, he did not even have the money for the import. So he borrowed $50 from his mother. And then he paid the import fees. So what happened was that when he went to Onitsuka and when the people there wanted to know what his company was, I mean, they thought that he already had a shop or a company, and he instantly had to come up with a name, and so he named it Blue Ribbon. Later on, it became Nike, but initially it was called Blue Ribbon. The way how it became Nike, so the process of this transformation from Blue Ribbon to Nike is also a long journey, and it happens much later. I'm not going to tell a lot of details about it. It would be good to read that oneself. So one other person who supported him in this venture, he became a co-partner in this venture, was his coach, his running coach called Bowerman. Bowerman was already a well-known coach in the US. He had trained a lot of well-known athletes. And so both Phil Knight and Bowerman, they became partners. They kind of became co-founders of Blue Ribbon, and that's how it started. Initially, they took one step at a time. They took baby steps to kind of sell the shoes and publicize them. So what Phil Knight used to do was he used to go to these track meets or small sports events in Oregon, and he used to sell the shoes from the back of his car. And slowly the sales increased because the quality of the shoes were really good. And that was only the start, and I won't go into details about everything that came after. I mean, there were a lot of things. Apart from these struggles, we get to see their team growing. We see Phil Knight coming in contact with a lot of people and how one by one they became full-fledged employees of the company. The first person to become a full-fledged employee of Blue Ribbon was Johnson, and then there were several other unique people. Like, apart from the struggles, I mean, the struggles are interesting to read about, but apart from these struggles, there are these interesting stories of these people. Like, Phil Knight has a really great way of describing them, their quirks, their peculiarities, and their talents. And it was really interesting to see how this cohesion or this coming together of people with a varied amount of talents and personalities, they helped in growing the company. And it was especially wonderful to see these friendships and their support for one another, to see the people coming into the company, into that sphere one by one. And they had their own specific role in the company. And at times it felt like I was a part of their group. It felt like I was working along with them. I was hustling with them together. And whenever a difficult situation used to come up, and there were too many of them, I cannot even begin to describe them. And whenever such situations used to come up, Mr. Phil Knight would definitely be anxious, and the whole team would be in knots. And I too felt like biting my nails and praying for the situation to get resolved. I could not help feeling their emotions, their frustrations when things did not used to work out, and their joy and happiness when things did work out and things fell into place and they kind of had a minor celebration, and it felt like I was celebrating with them. And Phil Knight, he also describes a bit about his family life, like how he met his wife and what was his relationship with his family, his father and mother. And that part was also interesting to read about. Basically, he covers the period from the time when he started this company till the time it became this multi-billionaire thing. It was a pretty good journey, and it was a great journey, I would say. There were so many ups and downs, and there were a lot of good moments as well as bad moments. And obviously there were struggles. Like, there are generally struggles. Whenever we start something new, there are going to be certain common struggles. But apart from those struggles, there were some very heavy and legal struggles. For example, they got involved with the FBI and some other similar things, like getting betrayed once. I won't go into details about those. But overall, it was an interesting journey, and a very emotional one too. Like, this company, this shoe business, it was not just a shoe business for them. It was an emotion to them. It was like their home. It was a place which added value to their lives, not just in terms of money, but in terms of fulfillment. It also added value to the people outside, to the people who were their customers, to the whole of US, and later on other countries as well. Every bit of struggle that they went through, every little moments of success, they were an experience of the lifetime, and they cannot be replicated. And I laughed so many times while reading the book. I mean, I think I have mentioned that this book was really humorous as well. It was emotional as well as humorous. Phil Knight has an interesting way of telling a story. He knows how to tell a story. Even the most mundane things, he can deliver it in such a engaging manner. And certain serious situations, he throws a touch of humor into those. It's a story, a real life story that I would remember, and it's a book that I would recommend to everyone and definitely reread a lot, I guess. If you want a motivation in your life, if you have started something and you're demotivated because nothing seems right, then you have to read this book. The language was also very easy, and as I have mentioned, Phil Knight is a good storyteller, really great writing and engaging from the beginning itself, and I definitely gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. So that was all about the book. If it had been possible, I would have said so many more things about it, but they would be spoilers, so I won't do that. So In case if you haven't read the book, I would definitely suggest you to read it and be inspired by it, and also have a good laugh out of it, and be touched in all the right places. That's all I have in today's video. So thank you to anyone who has watched this video till the end. I really hope to come up next time very soon with another video. Until then, please do take care and be safe, and goodbye.